recently saw a little bit of taking a bit of a hit to that fortify, and it's kind of shaking up the take metal a little bit, but we'll see if that affects our two teams game plan, as we've got Lunaris taking on Strawberry here today. Lunaris coming in 4-0. They've only dropped one map thus far here in season 12. Strawberry looking at 3-1, coming off the back of losing a reverse sweep there to red team, but we'll talk about them in a minute. First and foremost, let's talk about this Lunaris 4-0 squad. Looking at the DPS, typically we would see Ruby starting for this squad, but had a little bit of a tech issue, so instead we're going to get Woody Weed in the lineup today. We'll see if that affects Lunaris and their chances of winning this matchup.
Well, for Inu versus Ruby, both of them are Widowmaker players, so kind of sort of one could play Widow, one couldn't. So kind of sort of, you knew one player going to take that hero, so to speak, is like the one trick / the preferred pick versus the other DPS. But I just want to see if we do get Widow come out, how nutty some of the shots are going to be and where some of these cheeky angles they're going to try to get at. And if you're looking at a Sojourn like we are on the screen, Sojourn is still powerful, still a very much high pick rate amongst the DPS, so I'm expecting a lot from the DPS duo.
Yeah, Inu staying up late, playing from the UK, and yeah, up at some DGen hours here to join us for our mid-season tournament and try to guide Lunaris into that grand finals. Beep also showing us that Arisa. We'll see if that continues. Like I said, those nerfs coming through. But let's take a look at their opponents. Strawberry coming in 3-1, like I mentioned. Only loss was a reverse sweep. They dropped to red team. Spark Chief. Anybody who, if you've been around CGL at all, probably recognize this name. Tank player's been playing for, as long as I've been around, and that's been some time, Big Sam. Even,
oh yeah,
had a good run with Team Mexico there most recently in the World Cup. Spark Chief is a force to be reckoned with here in the console scene.
Right, arguably one of our top tanks at any tier. Just the gameplay, the mechanics are always top notch with Spark Chief. Could have almost made Team Mexico, but that shows you how good he is. Overall, the team is solid. The lineup is solid, but it starts and ends with Spark Chief, so they go as far as the tank can go.
And I think it's important to point out that World Cup run, because Spark Chief can compete on a world stage with some of the best. So not just an all-star here in CGL, but just as a tank across the board in the Overwatch scene. So certainly a strong contender here, and this should be a good one. You're absolutely right. This one could go the distance. I'm strapped in for a banger. I expect y'all to do the same, and it's all gonna start right there on that front line. Beat taking on Little Bee-Boo, taking on Spark Chief. There, our tank matchup it's where it's all gonna begin.
Yeah. Right now with the 5v5, it starts with the tanks, it starts with the push, it starts with how much resource the tank gets, and if the tank can get E-limbs, get some damage, make space, that goes as far as the team will go. If the tank is getting shut down heavily, then there goes your team fight, team engagements. So it's going to see which these two tank players plays up to the hype, and it's going to show how much these resources these support players are going to be given to said tank player and tries to get the E-limbs or heavy damage or try to make a push in some space.
Yeah, if you don't have any map.
Ready for battle.
I was hoping right off the bat, but you should have some good cheeky sights, and this is going to be very interesting to see how they start this engagement.
Yep, Beep coming out on the Jungle Queen, and it's actually Spark Chief pulling out the Arisa as we immediately get a call for a pause. That didn't take very long at all.
No, sir. Did not expect a pause right off the bat.
Yeah, sounds like we have a bit of a disconnect, so just bear with us 1 second where we get one of our players back in the lobby, and we'll get back into this map. But kind of gives us a chance to talk about some of these changes. I think the Arisa nerf can't really be understated. It doesn't look too big on paper, but it really took away from her survivability.
It did. Every time you mess with the fortify, that's the survivability. That's the ability to get out of anything, like out of a shatter. Can you walk out of a grab? Can fortify out of the gravitic flux? So that is huge. So do not underestimate that for any circumstance. Anytime you mess with survivability for a character,
Yeah.
it will take a while for those mains to get used to that and play. Because if you have to adjust your play style, it's never a good sign when you have to adjust. Like, I'm being aggressive now, I got to be more passive, or passive to be more aggressive. So if it's a season long, yeah, but if it's like playing like this, patching, have to adjust, a lot of teams, a lot of players will struggle.
Yeah, controlling that tempo is so important. And I think that's really, if you're not setting a tempo, then you're on the back foot and you're trying to play catch up the whole time. Another small change that came through, I think is can't be underestimated, is the slight buff to Junker Queen, which is the impact damage on Gracie on that jagged knife, which I think hit some break points, but you know what? I'll have to do some more math and get back with you on that one. But it is Lunaris bringing out the JQ here to start things off alongside of Bapalucio, so a bit of a rush look here to accompany our UK sniper. As you see Inu perching up high. Gets a headshot on to Spark Chief, but that one should get topped off by Water. Circles back around, looking for anything up close. Was looking for Binzi up close. There it is. Heard the tracer. Binzi actually came up around to the high ground, and Inu's in a little bit of an uncomfortable spot. Fortunately, Scarlet's been taken off the battlefield, so don't have that threat to worry about. But Inu is finally hunted down, and Binzi is continuing to stalk around the outsides, see if they can work some magic on these off angles. Ooh, Beep's going to take him down, but Witty falls as well, so no more DPS here for the Norse.
Yeah, you don't want to lose your DPS that early. You did lose your Bastion, but it did switch. Scarlet did switch to a Sombra now for a more traditional, like a backline approach. And Spark Chief already paying dividends, getting some elims, getting heavy pressure on Lunaris.
Yeah, Hoggy gets stuck way out of position. They're just kind of get caught ahead of the team. Didn't make the rotation back, and just going to further stagger out Lunaris here a bit. Fortunately, they were able to prevent any real early caps. So Strawberry's sitting only at about 21% here, and you see Scarlet stalking already 60% towards that EMP after making that swap.
It is, and Inu really hadn't done anything as the Widow right now. Really hadn't had that big pop off on with that big elim just yet. There's huge damage came out.
Yeah, Water's gonna fall. Didn't even get a chance to use that implication matrix. Woo, nice shot there for Beep. Beep is able to get both supports here with the Junker Queen. And man, you're talking about losing your damage early can hurt. Losing both of those supports, I think, hurts even worse.
It does. Losing to your both supports hurts at the beginning. And now let's see, Lunaris will probably try to push up and be aggressive here with the Junker Queen versus the Strawberry Spark Chief on the Orisa. So interesting to see how they're going to engage this now that they have control of the point.
We're seeing Inu make a swap as the Widow is just not survivable enough. It's going to be a terror search coming out here from Spark Chief. Looks like everybody's able to get out of the way with a little help from Kermie. Sound barrier faded. Beep is low, and Water is the one to actually find both final blows, not just on Beep, but on Witty Weeb as well. Some fantastic shooting coming out of the back line here from Strawberry, and they're going to push past the halfway mark, 55% and counting. Water picks up a third.
Yeah, Water, there's one thing with your Baptiste. He puts out a lot of healing, but he can also put out a lot of damage. And those angles, if he's at the high ground and he does his Ant Matrix, that is a lot of damage coming through that a normal body shot would probably kill most of your squishies. And that's just right now. It looks like Witty Weeb has switched over to the Sojourn, and a huge EMP just happened.
Yeah, EMP got at least a couple. Honey is able to find one, but up front, my goodness, Water and Benzi getting a lot of work done. Fast and furious fight going Strawberry's way, and this is going to be a broken recontest at best. Time's running out for Lunaris.
If they can touch, it's going to be scarce, and more than likely, it's going to be touching it and then dying. Which is not what you want. You want to push in as a team. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to try to contest this or try to stall as much as they can.
Kermie was almost able to get out of that corner. Lunaris has some good tools to rotate in. It's going to be the Rampage Throne. Spark Chief is caught on, down low. Purple, no weakling available. Scarlet is going to fall off screen as well. So a quick 1-2 punch here for Lunaris to get themselves back into this. Skirting it over the top. Some shots landing, but not enough. And the peel comes through. Flight is there for the backup. Eventually, Beat finishes off Water. Flight's still sticking around here, though. The point has flipped, so not a whole lot to gain, and Flight's back to the drawing board.
Yeah, but you're 99% if you're Strawberry, so you can speed rush in, Amplification Matrix, and then try to get a die in the back line with your DPS and try to get one of these two supports while your Orisa can make space or try to get ult charge up. So that's what I'm thinking they're going to try to do.
Oh, Lunaris needs a good shot from Witty Weave here. Oh, Beat coming through with a nice clean from the Carnage will do the job too. Finding a big VIP target and then lands the Gracie as well. Turns attention onto the Orisa. Spark Chief has to use the spinning javelin just to get out of dodge. Still low on health. Fortify now, Pop. And still backpedaling and cannot survive. None of it was enough. And Lunaris with a fantastic fight against all odds. They're able to win that one. Now they've got a real shot at this.
What I'm thinking is Witty is going to he's going to try to get high ground or try to get an angle and then use the ult as the Sojourn while that Strawberry tries to rush in and then uses the either Amplification Matrix or the new Orisa ult would be my guess and try to get a pulse bomb in the back if able.
Spark Chief gonna pop the Terror Surge early to start things off. It's a trade on Baptiste. Healing minimal from both of our teams. It's just a Lucio. Kirby goes down with the Sound Barrier in their pocket. Disastrous turn. And Scarlet's able to pick him up out of the back. Venti does still have a pulse to work with while Beep is trying to keep Spark Chief at bay on the front line. Got him low enough where they had to just run away. Now Beep is able to turn some attention down to the DPS where Pulse Bomb gone wide and Benzi's eventually finished off. And here we are, Witty Weave with an overclock as well. Lands one, translocator out from Scarlet. Didn't go far, but far enough to where the overtime is gone. And Lunaris able to bring this one back from the depths to take our first sub-map here in our semifinals.
That was a very drawn out team fight engagement. You see the Sojourn putting out lots of damage. And a disruptive shot is so it slows everybody down, does lots of damage. That's what you don't want. You have a Junker Queen right there, can throw the Gracie, can run in, use the axe. And then you had the support, like you had the Baptiste, which is shooting, pegging at an angle. So, overall, great job by both teams. But looks like we're in for a great series. I want to see some Lucio environmental kills right here between Kermie and Flight. And if I can get anything out of this map, that's what I'd like to see.
Environmental kills are always fun to watch. See if our Lucios can put that music good use. Maybe it can be a final sound. Death's Hollows, if you would. Battle of a Cage here to start things off in our next map on, well, early shots down on the water. And he tried to go in deep, but didn't quite get the angle they were looking for. Not only recall, but back all the way out. It's still Lunaris pushing forward despite health bars looking low and a lot of resources invested in, but they've been able to buy a lot of space. And Strawberry just hanging out around the main entrance and Lunaris control Cage. First control starting to go up from Strawberry, but everybody from Lunaris is here to contest and oh, but they give it up. They let Strawberry have first control for free. Not a good turn. Enu is looking to go in. Can't quite get the one clip onto Scarlet. Heals are scarce though, as Water is not in this fight. Lunaris should have the edge, but they've been slow to clean up.
They were slow to clean up, but it was the Tracer. The Benzie in the back, just pinging at some and getting the DPS slow with the body shots, and then forcing the recall back, force the support to heal everybody up, and that's what made open up and Strawberry can get it first.
Pocket is the first drop in this fight. Man, those Baptistes, it's a hard day to be a Baptiste in this series, and they've just been getting hunted down. Strawberry is going to come back in. Looks like they will win this one. Is Inu, the last remaining survivor here from Lunaris. She's trying to escape to the Mega. Got the Mega. Got some good shots down on the Benzie. But you know what? Help shows up. Always good to have friends around, Big Sam.
Yep. Looks like right now we're no really subs or anything's coming out for either team. And it's, sure the tanks, it's a mirror match. So I'm looking at these Tracers. And these pulse bombs are going to go towards the Baptiste of Lucio and try to bait out the Sound Barrier or the Immort. So that's what I'm looking to see, which of these pulse bombs comes out huge and is massive.
Oh! Yeah, and Kirby is going to fall at 99 and got Sound Barrier out, but the heals just weren't there on the back of it. So despite Benzie's pulse, I mean, it did quite the job. Like, it didn't look like it in the kill feed, but that was a fantastic pulse bomb.
It was, and that little hesitation of, oh, there's pulse bomb, we gotta get away from it. And even that, if you have to force to spread out or get away from everybody, if you're coordinated enough to pick people off one by one, that's all it takes. It's that one moment, that slight hesitation on your decision making. I want to see what Beat does right here with the ult, with the rampage. If it's huge, I can see the point getting flipped for Lunaris.
So Beep is able to get in deep, just runs underneath, and has the overclock covered him from the opposite side. A beautiful coverage on this point, as Lunaris just had all angles on lockdown here for this recontest.
Yeah, Witty Weed was at the opposite end of the map shooting with the ult, and it was just lots of damage coming out, and then it was just a slowly but surely one by one of they picked them off, because when the Sojourner comes out, it's a zoning technique, and everybody tries to get away from it. And then Lunaris was just coordinating up to like, hey, let's just pick them off one by one, and boom, that's all it took. And you still had the rampage, you still had the beat drop for this engagement.
Yeah, Beep still holding on to that ultimate that we were very curious about. Could absolutely be a map winner if he's able to get a good connection. Sound barrier out. It's going to find 4. Immortality already used. Oh, the jump at least avoids any other fatalities to that pulse, but did get out of their own immortality field. And it's Scarlet on the outside, putting the nail in the coffin on this attack. 83%, one last try for Lunaris.
Yes, that was a good pulse bomb in the Baptiste. Went down, that's a lot of your healing, and then the Sojourn just cleaned up behind it. Ooh, Beep switches over to the Wrecking Ball as a last-ditch touch. So trying to go over a little divey approach right here. So I'm interested to see how they do on the Wrecking Ball.
I mean, you know, you got to do what you got to do to keep hope alive here in this 99 situation. Wrecking Ball not going to be ideal against the Orisa. Scarlet here with a beautiful angle on that back door, and it makes it very difficult for anybody from Lunaris to make their way on to this point, knowing that Beep is going to go in and try to disrupt. Scarlet is forced back, and Lunaris are able to buy a little bit of space, most notably on the cage side. Can they convert that into any elims is yet to be seen. As Witty was trying to make their way across, Inu tried to get it as well, but Benzie has got the flanks covered. And it is 2 kills there for Benzie, working up to yet another pulse of their own. And that will be enough. Strawberry, tie us up here on Ruins. We are headed to Lighthouse to figure out who will take this first map.
Yeah, and then
Excuse me, on Well. That was not Ruins, Big Sam. It was Well.
The Tracer killed one of the DPS and then killed the Lucio right behind each other.
Yeah, back-to-back kills. That was impressive.
Yeah, there was a 5v3. And then the Wrecking Ball just could not sustain health, could not get shields up, because Scarlet on the Sojourn was doing massive heavy damage to where it was just like could not out heal, could not out shield it, and then it was just okay. There's 5v3, it was a 5v2, 5v1, and then Beat tried to go in their stall as much as they can, but unfortunately wasn't enough. And now we are 1-1 right now, 3 in this first map.
Oh, Beep is making yet another swap going on to the Diva here, which I feel like it's going to struggle against the Orisa. Spark Chief has been pretty stalwart on our favorite 4-legged tank here. I feel like the Diva might struggle to close this gap even more than the Joker Queen did, but we'll see if Beep is able to use this high ground and perhaps circumvent a little bit. Left the door open though. Strawberry happy to walk right on in, invited and storming the castle. Strawberry moving on to this objective using an immortality field here to try to survive, but Flight is taken down early, as Lunaris have taken a very scattered approach, and it's actually working for them. They're avoiding the bulk of the damage coming out of Strawberry, and then striking back at vital pinpoints to where they can take Strawberry down one at a time.
Yep, it's all about divide and conquer right there. The dive was kind of all over the place, and Strawberry was trying to figure out how to engage, what to do. And then it started with Flight went down. There's one of your speed boosts, a shield boost if needed be, if there's a group around you. And then it started, then the Spark Chief went down, and then it was slowly down after that. Without your tank and without one of your supports, it's hard to stay up in these team fighting engagements.
Strawberry focusing all of their attention down onto Beep. Beep's got to back out, try to find some healing. Kirby goes in to hold out onto the point, and this fight has moved out onto the back of the lighthouse. Oh my goodness. Did I say a fight? It was more like a slaughter. It's a massacre.
And that was a team kill. And you lost your Baptiste, but the Lucio could speed boost back and speed back to the point engagement like there. I'm interested to see between Benzie and Inu where these pulse bombs go. They're gonna try to Hold spawn the support, so they're gonna try to get the tanks down half health and do them, or they're gonna try to do the immortalities.
Benzie wanted Witty Weep and ends up getting Kermie with that pulse. Here comes Inu looking for revenge. Has not had a chance to use there just yet, but Benzie starting things off strong. Witty Weep gets the revenge. 4v4 onto this point. Lunaris will get their 5th player back into this fight, and Inu is able to strike pay dirt with their pulse as well. Dueling amplification matrices just overlapping on top of each other, and it's a lot of damage. Most of it coming out in Lunaris' favor. As a quick turn towards the back window spells the end for Flight.
Yep, you lose your BAP early, and you lost Reeser. Right now it's just like it's still going on. There's gonna be the flip, but it was just too many elims for Strawberry to do anything. Even Minzy came back, couldn't really, skate around and hold the point. But for this engagement, I'm looking at Beat using the self-destruct if needed, and Kermit's probably gonna hold on to the sound barrier. And here's the ult by Witty Weep.
From the high around, overclock. Not getting a whole lot done. It's been a bit of trade out on supports. Sound barrier on the objective. And that allows Spark Chief to zoom out. Get this Terror Surge. Do have a self-destruct. Is Beep able to get back? No, cannot get back into mech. And Beep is gone. Very close as far as percentage is concerned here. Strawberry is able to wrestle this point back into their control.
Spark Chief's living on a prayer right now, trying to get healed up. Water switches to the Moira for more healing right now. More sustained healing, right? And it's just still anyone's ballgame right now.
Living on a prayer. Both of our treasures getting work done here on the back of this fight, and whew, looking like Lunaris may need a prayer on this one. The Strawberry are going to win 2 back-to-back engagements, and it might just be enough to take this opening map.
It might as Sparky switches to the Wrecking Ball. Figured they would try to stay the Orisa, but we shall see. I'm guessing it's going to be one last kind of dive / big massive brawl on point. Let's see what either of these teams, if Lunaris can cap it and keep it going, keep the dream alive.
Oh, that was a clutch Salberry from Curry, but Hagadu still falls under the weight of Scarlet's overclock. Spark Chief on this point, rolling around. Benzi's going to get the better end of Inu, which means they're here on this point and putting a lot of pressure down onto Beep. Beep is losing reinforcements left and right. Now all guns pointed at the Diva. The overtime yellow vanishes, evaporates, as does Lunaris' chance of winning this map. Strawberry up 1-0 here in your console open semifinal matchup.
Been a very good, very competitive game by both teams. It could have gone either way. Lucy Sport Chief is the play of the game. Is the tank we talked about that almost made it on Team Mexico. Like I said, this team goes where Sport Chief goes, and you see, look how much space he's making, how much damage he's making for that team, and boom.
Yeah, it's a good win. I mean, and with the Orisa, no less. You know, something that we were questioning, is this hero still going to be good? I mean, we got a patch in yesterday with some nerfs to this hero. So, yeah, with that up in the air, Spark Chief comes out fearlessly on the Orisa, and it's actually Beep. It's actually little Beep who's making the swaps listed as an Orisa player, as their favorite hero, whatnot. And they're the one bouncing around between the Junker Queen, the Diva, the Orisa, trying to find something to counter what Spark Chief and the rest of Strawberry's throwing at them. But so far, I mean, it was close. Like, let's not mince words here. Let's not talk like this was just a stomp. This was really, really darn close, Big Sam.
Yes, it was closer. It's closer than the final score indicated. It could have been 2-1 Lunaris winning, just off of a few more limbs or like 1 or 2 plays. Like, both teams were equally matched, and it could have gone either way. And like I said at the beginning, this could be 5-6, and maybe if we're lucky, the 7th map.
I don't think 7 is possible, but 6 is theoretical.
It's anyone's ballgame. Like, it's like the coin flip of who you predict is going to win. So it's after the first map, it's literally a crapshoot of either team can pull a player or 2 out and win the match. So we're in for a treat in this series, in the semifinals of this season 12 matchup.
We are in for a treat indeed, and nothing would make me happier than to go 7 maps. And thinking about it, it is theoretically possible, but holy cow, would it be? It'd be a tie on Hybrid and then a tie on Escort, which I have never seen in any kind of competition in all my years of casting. So, yeah, it's pretty unlikely, but either way, what is guaranteed is, I mean, we've got a hell of a couple of maps in front of us. It'll be Hybrid next. It'll be Lunaris's map pick. I'll spit that one out eventually. And we actually already have confirmation on what it's going to be. And despite what they listed, they're going to throw some King's Row at us, Big Sam, and Strawberry has this listed as their best hybrid map. Could they be playing right into Strawberry's hands?
We're probably going to see a goat. We're probably going to see a Rhine push or in a Ramatra brawl. Ramatra, like a push, is what I'm thinking. Because this screams Rhine v Rhine, Ramatra v Ramatra. I do not see Winston getting played. I don't really see Diva getting played. So for the tanks, I see straight up Lucio, Baptiste, speed boost, brawl, heal, get out, back and forth. And you could easily see Widow on this map on this first point. Lots of cheeky angles, lots of get up at weird kind of spots and maybe get a body shot or headshot. So, you could even see a Far Mercy come out on this first attack.
Sure. That's traditionally on point A attack. The pharmacy can work very well, especially because, I mean, the defense can't really counter, right? And with the defense, has to make a good guess out of the gate. Otherwise, that point A could go south real fast. But I will say, I feel like this is up to Lunaris, who will be starting us off on the defense, to come in and make a statement. I mean, even down to the very beginning. Okay, we got word that Lunaris is actually on attack. So forgive me on that one. So hey, you know what? All more power to them. This will give them a chance to try to adapt and to try to come out and set the pace here, because I feel like Strawberry has been in 100% in control of the compositions that have been played and kind of that tempo we have been playing at. And if Lunaris are going to get back in this series, they have to steal some of that away.
Yeah, it's all about momentum. Who can get momentum? Who can carry from point A to point B, point B to point C? It's all about who's hot, who's making the clutch plays, or who's picking that hero pick that's, counters a lot of people and also making some plays and, seeing what they can help them get a win. And what are we looking like so far?
I would like to point out how unnecessary it was for our teams to change colors between control and hybrid. I'm just saying. You're just trying to confuse me here, all right? You will succeed. Don't let the color swaps fool you, Big Sam.
Interesting with Spark Chief on the Diva and Beep on the Junker Queen. So that's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, this Diva is able to bounce from the high ground, so it's this high ground surrounding the objective. This is Strawberry's bread and butter on this defense. They want to protect it. They want to keep Lunaris off of it. Lunaris, particularly with this queen, you can see him already looping around towards the bottom side of house. They're looking to move up top and see if they can get this rotation clean. So far, it's looking pretty clean. Everybody from Lunaris are still alive and standing. Spark Chief coming through with a bit of disruption. Uses all of that defense matrix just to try to get out of dodge. Manages to do so. Bit of a shot from Beep, and Lunaris have managed to crowbar their way up into this precious spot. Strawberry absolutely did not want them to be.
No, right now they're trying to make the whole loop around. The Diva's flying around. And right now it's just like Lunaris trying to figure out, how do we want to attack? How do we want to get on point? How do we want to adjust? And it's right now it's a good chess match of the managers and the team captains and coaches. And it's from a statistical, and if you like to watch film, you love to see how the chess match is playing out right now in front of us.
Yeah, I mean, and Lunaris were actually ahead on their rotations, but they're going to get caught out when it's all said and done. It got a bit chaotic there for the moment. I think Spark Chief kind of threw a wrench into the plans, got him used to a tempo, and then swapped it up and flew back onto the objective and disrupted the rotation. And then it just all fell apart from there. A little late, DMAC. Don't know if it's going to result in much. Oh, no, it's immediately right back.
Yeah, they had the ult. They didn't want to use the ult. Spark Chief did not want to use his ult, but kind of did it just get this mech back.
Yeah, no, it's worth it.
Now, looks like Witty Weeb is on the Soldier now, off the Hanzo. And I'm going to see what they're going to do with this Nano. I could see Nano Tracer. I can see Nano Sojourn, to be honest. Nano Ilari?
Oh, huge. This fight's done. Like, that water just caught him out. They do end up nanoing Spark Chief. And Spark Chief just absolutely decimates Lunaris. They don't even get that first rotation. It was a beautiful
No.
anti-nade from Water as well, by the way.
Oh, that Anthony hit like 3 people. Then the Nano behind it, and the Nano Diva was just infinite ammunition, kill, kill, kill. And that was it. They were like, man, there's nothing we can do. We got to just go back to the drawing board. But now you're in a minute 40, and so if you don't get a good attack or a good push, it's going to come back to bite you. And you're going to blink and realize, oh crap, we're out of time.
Oh, that was a nasty stick on a Benzie, too. Just a sparkly, shiny, clean with that 90-degree flick to get that stick in. And it just buys more time. We're about 80 seconds on the clock here for Lunaris. 1, maybe 2 fights just now starting to come up on their first ult cycle. As we see Beep get that Rampage, the first online. Another Bionade into the back. Flat's going to go ahead and pop that Captive Sun. See if they can shut down Lunaris here. They're an aggressive move out of the defense of Strawberry, and one that's not going to pay off. Nicely kited. Beep is looking to counterpunch with a Rampage of their own, but Inu and themselves both very low. Scarlet's going to find that final blow with the overclock. Lands a shot onto Witty Weeb, but the heals are there. Witty Weeb is able to return fire. Makes the way all the way through the hotel while they find Benzie waiting for him with a pair of pulse pistols. And despite a couple of kills, Lunaris is still struggling to get any kind of foothold on this point.
That was a long, drawn-out, could they do it, they not do it, as Beep switches over to the Wrecking Ball yet again. And looks like, I wonder if please left the game. Looks like it was just back and forth, and Lunaris just could not get their footing down, could not put the pedal to the metal, and could not get on point, try to at least get a tick.
Kitsune Rush, Tac Visor, Overclock, all invested by Lunaris, all simultaneously, and Strawberry just kite every last bit of it. 3 ults, and they barely even get to pull the trigger on any of them. And suddenly, Strawberry appear out of the woodwork to come in and recontest. It's yet another nano boost on the Spark Chief to move on to this point, but Benzie out of this fight, something Lunaris has not been able to do here on King's Row. Step in the right direction, another one as Scarlet goes down. Flight able to pick up 1, but Lunaris are in the best position we've seen yet here on this map too.
They are. And Spark Chief did get a kill on meat, which was huge, but Lunaris finally able to pull through and finally able to cap it at the midnight hour. They have 2 minutes and 30 on the clock, which is good time, but as long as run as that is, you don't need to waste time. You need to keep the momentum going, like we talked about earlier. Because last thing you want to do is like come up like, oh, it's an overtime, and you're still like right there at that second point. Because in maps like King's Row, you want as much time on the clock. You want all points as fast as possible.
Nice shot there from Witty Weeb. Just to extend and get this kill as fast as possible. Like I said, vital. And 230, I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot with how long this point B is on King's Row. I feel like the defense can get a solid 3 fights in. If the timing works out right now, it's not going to work out for Strawberry quite that well here because they didn't get that first hold at the archway. And with that late pick we saw from Witty Weeb, Lunaris has been able to buy a lot of space. Benzie is looking to see if they can wrestle some of it back up here on high with Spark Chief. Focus on the Kermit, who's trying to run over the roof. Spark Chief's looking to chase him down. Looks like they lost sight of him. And, well, and then looking around, Benzie is gone. So, Lunaris here with a +1 as they turn the final corner of point B. Tac Visor, both DPS ults at the ready.
They are ready, and they got Beep does have the self-destruct, and they probably self-destruct on point if they need it. And they got the Kitsune Rush, which they can use, but I don't think they're going to need it.
It was dueling overclocks. Oh, and one had a nano boost on Scarlet. Actually wins that duel. Captive Sun thrown in as well, and that's going to find Kermit, so no more supports here for Lunaris. All damage will be permanent outside of, well, perhaps of a heal station from Witty Weeb, but anyway. Still, Lunaris are trying to fight here. 45 seconds, so they're in a dangerous spot. Like, it's just enough hope to where you keep shooting at the enemy, but not enough time to make it worthwhile. I mean, I think a quick death here is a blessing for Lunaris. They get one more good fight.
Yeah, if you lose the fight right there, like, hey, we just group up. It's one last engagement. We can Kitsune Rush, and we can maybe soldier flank around and attack Visor from behind. Is what you hoping happens. If Kermit can heal boost a lot, maybe get a sound barrier built up and then use that halfway through the fight.
Spark? That's a wow. The healing on that Spark was taking so much damage and then turned it and just was at full health. Unreal. Uses that self-destruct to get back in mech, and Winnie Weeb is gonna fall. Water catches him as Winnie Weeb was looking for cover from that self-destruct, and then Water lands a nice bio under Kirby that Scarlet's able to follow up on, and Strawberry just tactfully picked this one apart. Scarlet looking for their fourth. Benzie steals it from him, but the cart is stopped short of the Foundry. And, well, Strawberry have a very clean win con here to move up to match point.
Yeah, it's easier said than done, but you just got to get to that second point, and that's it. I'm surprised we haven't seen any brawl right there. I figured we would have, but we saw Diva come out, which surprises me. But, when you have two tanks that can play at a high level, they can play any of these tanks. So it's like, okay, we're good. We can, switch our team comps on a dime. It's going to be very interesting to see what these two teams come out with. I'd like to see a Pharah come out. I'd like to see a Widow come out. But we shall see in the next second. Spark Chief on the Doomfist.
Yeah, I mean, they still got lots of time to chase our mind on that one. Let's take a look at this defense. This is a little bit more set in stone. And it's Beep on the Diva, so we are going to get the priority of controlling this high ground over the priority of a front line, of a steady, solid front line from our defense here on Kings Row Point A.
Like Water was very good on the Ana, was good in getting no charge. The nades were nutty. The Hoggy Dudes has got to come out, and it can match, they can match. If not, it's going to be very interesting to see.
This is going to be a fast attack from Strawberry. I'm really curious to see where Spark Chief wants to go. I mean, is this just going to be a dive right at them approach, or take a little bit of staging? Okay, take them on this first corner. Lunaris already backed up from this, reading this composition. Nobody set on this first corner. Beep eats an early punch, and that caution is immediately reinforced as Beep now gets knocked out into the low ground. With just Winnie Weeb up top, I mean, the damage out of a soldier isn't enough to keep this Doomfist at bay, but with Scarlet going down, that is just the ticket. A long-distance kunai from Kermie is just what the doctor ordered here for Lunaris' defense.
And Flight is actually on a Lifeweaver, which gets very few pick rates. So, and Scarlet now switches over to the Bastion of all DPS picks, so this is going to be very interesting attack for Strawberry. Well, it could go in a number of directions.
Bastion was quite meta up until yesterday, and just a little bit of a nerf to the grenade might have been enough to knock him back down out of meta. We shall see. Water takes that kill up off the high ground, and not able to get back into the cover in time. And the Bastion looking to be a good swap indeed. Winnie Weeb has to use all of their cooldowns. Oh, the grenade coming out of Scarlet bounced off the wall. And Spark Chief dies somewhere off screen in a bit of a tank duel. So Lunaris now feeling a lot more comfortable here in their solidified, fortified position, especially with that kill on a Benzie. Nice move, Winnie Weeb.
But Water does have the nano built up, and Scarlet does have the ult built up for Bastion, so you looking at 4 ults for Strawberry in this next engagement, and they've already got 1 tick already. So
not to mention the point presence of that Tree of Life, like that the overheal on that means that it makes your entire team far more difficult to kill than it did prior to that change. So a lot of point presence available as well. It's going to be the artillery to start things off. Sparky with the nano, headed up to the high ground into Scarlet, and immediately finds that kill. So +2. Both those kills credited to the artillery strike, and again, death from above as Strawberry seems to just be employing the aerial strike tactic here on point A, and it's enough to grant them the objective.
What they did was they went up top in that small room, and the nano Bastion was just, the nano Doomfist, excuse me, was just so much damage coming out. And the Bastion looks like he popped his ult, and Benzie popped his, and looks like Flight, get the Tree of Life ready, and you can play Tree of Life on the card if needed. And it was just so much damage in that small room that Lunaris could not get away from, couldn't quite zone away or split up, which is not what they wanted to do. And now Strawberry's got control of the point, and they got a way better time bank than Lunaris did when the rest started attacking.
Ooh. Oh, wait a minute. That is not where you wanted to be. That spindling Gatling gun right in your face is, eek! That's a yikes. It's going to be, was that an overclock? No, it was just charged up rail there from Inu as they slide out of harm's way, and Strawberry able to muscle their way through the streets, buying a lot of space as they go, picking up some kills all along the way. It's a stroll through the park here for Strawberry, and my goodness, as they stroll right past that yellow box of victory, and they continue to rack up kills. Spark Chief eventually has to get out.
Spark Chief does come out, they force them back, use ults, and now look, the card is right there. You still got the Tree of Life right here. You got a Pulse Bomb. You're about to have Baptiste ult and Nano. But Beep does have the self-destruct if needed.
It's going to be a Nano to overclock shut down by Scarlet, and Lunaris are running out of answers as they threw in all of the aforementioned alongside a kitchen sink, and it's just all in a scrap heap now. Strawberry move up to match point here as they take the win on King's Row. Man, that one was decisive. Clean finish here from Strawberry.
It was, Spark Chief got play of the game. I would say Water was absolutely insane on the attack and defense on the Ana. Like, you can't underestimate a good Ana. And if you have a good Ana, your team's going to win multiple team fights. Like,
yeah, can't argue that.
No, you have a good Ana, because in our days, we've been here for years. We have seen a lot of good Anas. And a good Ana can pretty much hard carry a team like crazy with the heals and the anti-heals.
Water certainly living up to that, and it's been enough to get to 2-0. Can Strawberry close it out in 3? We will return. It's Flashpoint. We'll see you there in a minute.
I'm not crazy, Malin. I'm not crazy, Malin. I've just been in a very bad mood for 40 years. 40 years.
Carpe diem. Carpe diem.
Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours.
Oh man, we were questioning whether Lunaris played into Strawberry's hands there at King's Row, and it certainly turned out that way. Now there's only 2 maps to choose from as we head into Flashpoint, and well, at least on paper, Lunaris have chosen correctly. It's not listed, New Junk City that is not listed as Strawberry's favorite map. So you know what? You got a dub there. You take them where you can get them, Big Sam.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you gotta go to your bread and butter, maybe do the off-the-wall pick, or maybe throw a wrench in everybody's left pick. But New Junk City is a very interesting map, very interesting game mode. Lots of high ground, lots of low ground. Anything and everything can be used. I've seen a Sojourn be used. I've seen a Farah Echo be used. I've seen a Junkrat Torb be used. I've seen every tank be used.
I mean, I think speed's the name of the game here. And something that could give us some indication on what we might see coming into this is we've had some subs. We had Accuracy get subbed in for Hoggy Dudes, excuse me, in the support role. But more importantly, we've got Charisma coming in for Beat in the tank role. Charisma listed as a Junker Queen player. So I can't help but wonder if this, this is indicative of a pretty major strategy change coming out from Lunaris as we head into our newest game mode.
Yeah, probably try to be maybe more aggro. Maybe a Lucio speed rush, Junker Queen trying to go in there. Would be my guess. Because
I mean, there's rotations are so important. There's so much movement on these game types. That speed, I feel like, is just a must. You can see the Lucio already getting locked from both of our squads.
Yeah, it's the tradition basically on these new game modes. And this comes up, one of your supports has gotta pick Lucio. I'm interested to see what Water's going to do on the Moy Rifter popping off as the Ana. I'm interested to see where these two teams and how they're going to engage this first map as they go to the arena.
We are indeed getting the Joker Queen matchup. Did some math there in our break, and indeed the new buff does in fact hit some break points for Joker Queen. So she got a couple of different options to combo a 200 hit point target, and with Carnage could even get a 225 hit point target. So definitely significant 15 damage added to that Jagged Blade. Benzie already taking a lot of fire. I believe it was an Inu from behind, trying to squeeze Strawberry here into a bit of an uncomfortable position. But Strawberry able to just back up onto the objective. Inu is tracking him. Is down there waiting for him. Scarlet trying to prevent any follow-up from Lunaris, but gets taken down. Wouldn't we be able to find that angle from above? Just barely peeking over. That had to be just a pixel of Scarlet that we've had an angle on. But still, after losing Kermie, Lunaris don't want to take this fight.
They don't. Looks like you gotta have your Kermie, you gotta have your Lucio. If not, there goes a lot of your healing. If you're spread out, your Baptiste is gonna struggle to heal everybody. And then your Strawberry can just be like, okay, let's just pick off the Baptiste and let's just end it right there.
Oh, you gotta have your Kirby the Frog. And Matrix out here from Lunaris from the other support on that squad. And then we subbed in Accuracy, and it's at least allowed Lunaris to get some position here around the high ground. And it was still trying to work down low, but gets caught out. It's an overclock here from Witty Wave, looking to bring things back. It's a 1-for-1 trade, which means it's still an advantage here to Strawberry, as Spark Chief is going to rush down with Benzie at their back. Pick up a pair. A little bit of a do-see-do as Charisma is able to do the same to Benzie, but it's a 3-for-1 trade favoring Strawberry.
It looks like Strawberry's going to get the first point of this. And it depends on where they're close to. They're going to see any swaps, but I don't see the supporter tank swapping off anytime soon for either team.
Oh, and where these points are is so important. you're either going to go to, you've got 2 points on either side. One of our teams is going to have a favorable spawn, and it can really turn the tides of this mode. As it looks like we're headed over to Junkyard for this next matchup. Both teams fighting up over the high ground. Where Scarlet, holy cow, finds 3 lined up in a row, shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah, unfortunately, the flight sound barrier did not get Benzie, but it was really not needed after that. It was like 4v1, 5v1, so now they're going to get the flashpoint unlocked instantaneously right here. And still no swaps yet, no hero swaps for either team. It looks like we switches from Tracer to Soldier.
Yeah, I mean, and it was getting worked. Like, was trying to play the off angles. It just was getting found out every single time. So I like the swap. Whoa! Holy cow! Scarlet! Wow! Yeah, there was an assist there on every one of those from Flight.
There was an assist from Flight as the boop, and then the Scarlet ult just killed 4 out of the 5 and took Charisma down to half health. Witty Weave now switches over to the Bastion to counter said Bastion to see if they can match blow for blow, but that was nutty. And honestly, you did not need that if you're Lunaris. Now you're at 70% without even taking an engagement yet. So massive play by Strawberry.
Remember when that ult was hard to get kills with? All right, Town Barrier now out here, covering the frog, and they move up into the high ground. Water trying to counter with a coalescence, and then you have Benzie with the overclock here from the off angle. And it's just difficult for Lunaris to find any room to work. And it's going to be another point here picked up by Strawberry. They do lose Scarlet along the way, but depending on where this next flashpoint is, it could be a non-issue.
And now basically Lunaris is going to her Charisma because actually just got out of spawn, so more than likely they're going to get their full team position, Lucio speed boost with everybody. While Flight's probably going to pick up Scarlet and then meet up with the team, so both should get to the point right around the same time. Strawberry might get there faster, but we shall see what happens in this next engagement with Lunaris. Needs to turn the tide and get some momentum going in their favor.
Did Scarlet make it back in here with Strawberry? I think that's an important question. Didn't see them just yet. I'd imagine by this time, but I think we're closer to Lunaris' spawn, which was good news for Witty Weeb if that is the case, because they're going to be putting on their walking shoes and making their trek back over here into the Ducks, where Lunaris is trying to fend off. I mean, they got to work all the way up through not just this map, but the entire series. It's got to start here, and it means they've got to survive this massive rampage from Spark Chief. Guess what? They're not. Spoilers. Everybody's dead.
That's a good team kill right there. Or almost team kill with another Bastion just backing up. And down goes Bastion. Scarlet goes down again, but you take these team wipes and these team kills, because now you're at 45%. By the time everybody gets back from spawn, you're at 50%. You're halfway to this third point in the victory, going up 3-0. Lunaris, you got 4 ults. You got to use them. You got to get some momentum going. You got to get some elims. You got to do something to get any kind of the tide going.
Here we go. It's another round of artillery shells coming out. And this one only gets some equipment, but Scarlet's still able to get the job done. Accuracy's Ant Matrix is just not enough. And I think this is going to do it for the series. Strawberry looking to move on into the grand finals. Benzie a late kill. Coalescence not anywhere close. And Strawberry with a clean 3-0 sweep to take down Lunaris and stamp their tickets. They will be going up against the winner of Team Big Dog and Red Team here for your NA Console Open Grand Finals. What was that word for? Oh, and that match is on CGL2 right now. Boom. Oh, there's that beautiful 4 kill.
And if you count the immortality, 4.5 kills.
There you go. So with that, let's not waste any time. Let's get you on over to CGL2 because we have another semifinals match going on right now. See who will take on Strawberry in the grand finals. A heck of a showing. I mean, it was still a banger. Even though it was short and sweet, it was still a blast to watch. Thanks for hanging out. Don't go anywhere. We still got more Overwatch coming your way. So we'll see you over in CGL2 in just a minute.
Yes, sir. Take care and peace, people.